in comics. I still, I refuse to buy the comics that I used to have sold.
I know
now
the
they're
feeling.
like $1,000 or something. I could buy any comic I want, but I'm just like, I don't want to buy my old collection back. So the things I collect is, just things autographed from, Stan's a friend of mine, so I'll collect some Stan Lee, Spider-Man books, and, stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy a lot of the actors here. We work all the time together. And in fact, John Berthenall's a friend of mine who plays Punisher. So we had some good times last week. So I just enjoy, and I really enjoy the fans. I mean, I was talking to Joe, one of the promoters here, and he told me stories from way back about how he would observe, because he was in the military and all that stuff, and he would observe me very carefully, and he knew back then what type of person I was, and I haven't changed. I still hook people up, I take care of people, I make kids smile, and that's what's important. Is the adult's important, but if you have kids, it's good to set an impression like that. Because I know I should let this go. When I was a kid, I met David Hasselhoff, and he kind of just walked by me and he didn't realize, maybe, but I was so devastated when I was young. I was like, he was my hero. I liked Knight Rider. And I go to Universal, sit in the car, and somebody was on a radio going, Jason. I was like, oh man, kid's talking to me. This is what's up. Kid, take off. Didn't know where. I was like, do this. And I was like, man, this car's a ripoff. Like, and then I saw David Hasselhoff, and it just sat in me as a kid, even though he didn't see me. So I really try to go out of my way for kids, just like a TSA guy did. I went and made a point to say what a good job he did, and it took me 10 minutes to fill out a form. I wasn't complaining. I just thought he was such a good TSA guy, pushing people through and telling kids, hey buddy, do you want to push that through? Go ahead, push it through. And the kids were pushing it through, and I was like, man, this guy impressed me. Most TSAs, like, it's kind of like jail. Move here, empty your pockets. This guy took time to make that little kid smile, which made me smile. And Joe experienced that here when the Boston bombings happened. I was here, and we tried to make the best of it. And, try to make the best of it. And he said that he saw one kid smile, and that affected him and put that in his heart. And it was, Joe's a good guy, and Steve, great promoter. We go way back in the days. And, Rhode Island ComiConn, and Rhode Island and Steve and his ComiCons always hold a special place in my heart because fans leave happy, not just from my table. If I can't speak for the other experience for other actors, but I do know from my experience, when you come to my table, I hold myself in high standards. Regardless of what situation I'm in with the Phoenix ComiCon, someone trying to shoot me, to my mom passing away, to whatever it is, I hold myself high standards for the kids, because the kids need to be, you can't include the kids or hurt the kids with what's going on in your personal life. You're all kids, no matter if you're grown up, 30, 35, 20. For me, you guys are all still kids, and I still try to.
We also watch you too.
Yeah, that's great. Some interviews I do, it's just not PG rated interviews. I don't like interviews like that. They stress me out. I have nothing but positivity to say, and people are always trying to hook the negative things, asking me about things twisting things and stuff like that. But TMZ's been great about it. I have a good relationship with TMZ. People are like, TMZ, you're like, uh-oh. But I have a good relationship with TMZ to put the ComiCon safety factor out. So it's been good.
You had a cameo in the new Power Rangers movie. What was it like seeing all these new actors, and you're being in the, over 20 years ago you started Power Rangers. Yeah. So what was it like seeing all these new actors continue to pass the torch?
I'm not being rude to you real quick.
No, it's fine.
Man, I tell you, watching the new Power Rangers, it was definitely interesting for me. It didn't hit me quite because the Tommy wasn't introduced into it, but
the cutscene had to give you chills, though. It did me.
What's that?
The cutscene had to give you chills. I got chills at the end.
On the very end.
Yeah, they mentioned Tommy Oliver.
Yeah. If you guys are reading the media, I kind of got booted out of the Power Ranger movie there. But anyway, I'm not supposed to talk about it, but I didn't get a chance to see the end of the movie, unfortunately, because I had an iPhone and I got a little talking to by security people. But I was like, that's me in the movie, man. Like, anyway, long story. So I didn't actually get a chance to see the end of the movie.
There was a cutscene where it said
Yeah.
Tommy Oliver, and I just got goosebumps. I mean,
Yeah.
I fanboyed out. I saw you had your cameo.
I think we all did.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Cutscene. Tommy Oliver, empty chair. Goosebumps again. I was like, It was
I
cool.
definitely got to see it. But I thought Saban did really well. The toys, actually the #1 best-selling toys for the movie. You know, and I thought they did a really good job. It's a fine line because everybody wants to pick you apart, and that's in anything. Even with the Phoenix incident, everybody wants to pick me apart, including cosplayers that don't understand the situation. And I'm all for cosplayers. I love cosplayers. They make the shows fun, you know. But everyone looks at a situation and they try to pick things apart. So the movie definitely was, hey, let's look at it and let's try to pick it apart a little bit. And I don't think there was much to pick apart. Yeah, there was things that added. People wanted a little bit more fights and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So we'll see what happens in the future with Saban. I love the brand. I'm a brand ambassador, and let's just say that, you know, Saban, it's a whole new world out there, and there's different avenues, like the comic book that Kyle Higgins is producing, like the Superpower Beatdowns Aaron's producing, and Aaron's also producing the Valiant show, Ninjak Versus, and I played Bloodshot in that. And originally I was only when I started Power Rangers, originally I was only hired for 10 or 14 episodes, I don't know, 10 episodes, something like that, and my powers were gonna be gone, so I accepted that, did the role, and then it became more. People wanted it more. There's a few other projects I'm working on this year that'll be announced. Very, very new projects, new characters, very little in the show, but it's gonna be the most popular. You know, Bloodshot was only in 1 or 2 episodes. Now he's throughout the whole episodes. And it's not just I'm getting lucky, it's because of my fan base. Because I reach to my fan base and I'm real to my fan base. And honestly, it's for you guys. There's, you know, not one time will I turn down an interview. It doesn't matter where you're from, how many followers. You can have 1, 2 followers, you can have 1 million followers. It really doesn't matter. The trick is, like I tell people, you know, people nowadays, actors go, well, how do you know who's real and who's not? These iPhone interviews, I just told that particular actor, it doesn't matter. You treat every interview equal.
Thank you.
Because that's the way it is. And that's the trick. And with Aaron, I didn't know Aaron. He said, hey, would you like to do Superpower Beatdown? I was like, sure, I'll do it, because it was protecting the White Ranger character. It was protecting the Green Ranger character. Also protecting my fans, so the fans never have to ask me, how come you didn't do that? And, well, it's because of this and because of that and unions and blah, blah, blah. But why didn't you? And that's my point, is I do. It doesn't matter. Superpower Beatdowns, non-union, I did it anyway. I don't care. We're gonna get slapped on the hand. What's gonna happen? Something, you know. And so there's things I do for the fans. Sometimes you have to sacrifice, meaning that you have to spend money to go somewhere to make something great. And it's not about money for me. It's never been about money. That's why my mom told me to stay at Rhode Island. Too many people were waiting for me. And my mom was so active in social media that she just was so proud and didn't want to let no one down, especially for her. She didn't want to act sick. She was, you know, she was a trooper and a warrior. And that's kind of where I got my attitude from. My mom would give thumbs up, you know, and through her last days of living, and I'd be like, Mom, come on, just tell the truth. How do you feel? And she just didn't want to tell anyone how she felt, because she's a trooper, and she never quit, never gave up, and that's what people have to understand, is that there's no magical stuff going on. Everyone wants to know why JDF at Phoenix ComiConn, because I do social media. I reach out personally to people. I brand so well my name because I love you all, that he's branded for a reminder, kill JDF. That was the thing where, you know, he was a JDF fan. He was on Instagram, social media, maybe he was blocked, I don't know. But the point is that I believe in my fans, and you guys make it real for me. So I'll do anything I can to make fans happy. I won't do bad things. I'm not into doing bad things, I'm just not. My fan base, I have thousands of kids, karate kids, around the world that still look up to me, that don't care that I'm Jason David Frank. They know I'm their Kyoshi, I'm their sensei. I've been a sensei before I was even a Power Ranger. And I had people coming back going, you were my sensei. So I was popular in my dojo at that time. I was my own celebrity, and every, you know, 80 kids loved me, went to tournaments. I got press from my kids that were getting first place. And it was great. It was like, let's go, let's win, let's get first place, let's win Grand Champ, and let's take a picture for the newspaper. That's our goal. And that's exactly what happened. And that was something, and then my instructor, I just talked to him, Chris Casamassa. The ironic part is he played Scorpion in the first Mortal Kombat movie. So, you know, the rules are you can never fight your instructor, and I would never fight my instructor. I just bow down. Even if you're in a tournament and you win first place and you're against your instructor, you can't take it. A true martial artist won't take it. You can never be better than your sensei. You know, so I just talked to him. So the karate schools I came from were hardcore schools. We had the best fighters in the world back then. We would dominate in tournaments. I was a NASCAR rated competitor. I did, you know, katas, everything. So the audition was easy. And one of those things that I learned from Red Dragon also, it was a Hollywood school. We were close to Hollywood. My instructor would do movies. He'd work with Pat Johnson way back in the days, Batman stuff. I mean, he was a Hollywood school, so they inspired me. He inspired me to do more, not be rich and famous. Back in the days, 10, 15 years ago, you would think of you're getting sued, people want to kill you, you can't go anywhere, when you're frustrated. And I'm not that big to the point where I can't go anywhere because I can, but when the word gets out, the Green Ranger's here, the whole restaurant gets, whoa, my gosh, and everyone tells everyone, and I still handle it. So sometimes in my personal life, it pulls me out of that situation. You know, my brother was in the hospital and he passed away, and you know, the doctor at that time asked me for an autograph, and I did. I never turned an autograph down. But I remember signing that autograph, and of course I was crying. Okay, yeah, my brother's in the hospital, all right? I'm sensitive. And and people that have tattoos will appreciate this. The ink dropped, my tear dropped on the ink, and it smeared. So when you get a tattoo, you see the smeared ink when you get tattoos. And every time I get a tattoo, it reminds me of that story of not what a jerk he was, of what you would do for your kids in any situation. I mean, at one point, I would kidnap Dora if I had to, when Jenna loved her, just for a week. Just for a week. Fight the charges and put Dora back. I mean, I would do anything for my kids, and that's what people have to look at. At that time, you could have looked at, what a jerk. You know, my brother's in the hospital, my best friend just lost his arm, and you're asking for an autograph. I don't look at it like that. You know, at the time, I just did. So it's something that I live with, but it's not something I strive to be rich and famous, because fame has the price to pay, and I just want to be there for the fans, and I want to be filmmakers like you guys, you know. But I don't ignore the public, nor the situation will stop me. There was a saying that my instructor used to say years and years ago for my instructor: I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof, before hashtags were hashtags. When we walked into a tournament when I was little, he said, you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof. I was like, I'm 5 foot. He's like, you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof. You understand? Yes, sir. I fight the biggest guy at tournaments, and I win with that concept. And that's what I like to do, is be a winner. And if you speak it, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win. I'm not telling kids to go gamble, all right? Gambling is not, you know, it's like that song, know when to walk away, know when to run, never count your money when you're sitting at the table. Anyway, King Rogers, it's good.
I know what it was.
Yeah, I know. Some people are sitting there going, what the heck is that song? I have no clue. You just dated yourself.
If you could train with any martial artist, past or even present, I think I know your answer. Who would it be?
Well, Anderson Silva was my favorite fighter, and he still is. George St. Pierre, I love him. I love his attitude. I train with a lot of UFC guys. In fact, one of my friends, Derek, the Black Beast, is on UFC. I think he's fighting tonight. Heavyweight, used to be my sparring partner. He knows I can fight. I used to banging out with him years ago. All my guys now are in UFC, and he has respect for me, and that's all that matters, is because he will be a champion. Max Holloway is a friend of mine as well. I love what he's doing, but more importantly, I look at this game differently than most people. Most people look at what he can do as an athlete, but I want to look at what he can do to inspire kids and adults, what their attitude is. Are they cussing? Are they attitude? Are they bad sport about it? That's the important thing. So I'm kind of blended. When I watch movies, I'm watching shots. And it's just like, it's frustrating. I just want to watch a movie without cut shots. They could green screen, shot, pushing, dolly shot, 2 shot, raking 3 shot, oh, cross the line on that side. That's how I watch movies. So when I watch fights, I enjoy their expertise, but also I'm looking as a person. You know, that's why when I put a sign on my dojo, the word karate will attract more people than, well, Taekwondo too, but karate in general. You put MMA on the building, parents, oh, it's too violent, I'm not teaching my kids that. Because MMA, there's no karate guys that are bowing except George St. Pierre, Anderson Silva, all these other karate guys out there that respect karate. The wrestlers that skipped karate are now the karate stars. But what happened to the traditional base of karate? The brotherhood, the dedication, the respect, cooperation, discipline, confidence, attitude, and self-respect. What happened to all that stuff? Now it's just, you know, fight me, and that's why everyone always comes at me with the CM Punk thing, I'm not bullying him. It just makes sense for the fandom base. And when people are like, let it go, well, that's how fights are made. Then why don't you tell McGregor and Mayweather to let it go? Because they're at each other bad, like cussing, and I'm not like that. I mean, CM Punk was the one that cussed me out at C2E2. I didn't cuss him out. I would never cuss in front of you guys. I have a reputation. I'm just saying for the fight, it makes sense. It's like a filmmaker. You want this guy to star in your movie, but he doesn't want to, and it just makes sense. The fans want to see it. So that's my outtake on UFC and training. Greg Jackson has a great camp. All my friends train over there at UFC. I want to go to Master Toddy's in Thailand. I'm going back to Thailand to clear my head a little bit for a week. But I will say this incident did not waken me. It was woken before I went to Phoenix. On the airplane, something moved me to do things more. My personal, reach out to the people that that mean stuff. Try to listen to people, and that's what I do at ComiCons too. But I have to balance that with family stuff as well. And that's one of the things that in my shoes, I don't think no one really understands how hard I work and how hard it is to stay neutral as far as who do you want to vote for president. I could say Zordon for president, keep everyone happy. That's just the way it is, right? Politics, football. Marquette King's a friend of mine. He's number 7 on Raiders, and he's a punter, and he invited me to go to the Raiders game and go out there and hang out with them all, and I said yes. And after Marquette saw my Q&A, he said, man, you inspired me. You inspired me to reach back out to my fans. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, man, fans were just blah, blah, blah. And I said, Marquette, football fans will be football fans. They're not looking at you. You need to let people know you're Marquette King. I need to let people know I'm Jason David Frank. And there are fans that follow me now, not just from Power Rangers. And so he was like, yeah, I'm gonna start reaching out more and start reaching out to my fans. So what I told him is true. Haters will be haters, but he's in football. So you already got a lot of haters. I can't mention a football team without
Chiefs fan.
Yeah, so
Chiefs fan.
yeah, and you got those hardcore football fans that are like thrown down in parking lots. So I try to be neutral. They're like, you like football? I'm like, yes. I have friends from the Buffaloes. I have friends from the Raiders. I have friends from almost every football team. So my answer is yes, I like football. Have I been to any games? No, but I'm looking forward to going behind the scenes with Marquette and seeing the athletes' attitudes towards games. Everyone's competitors. Everyone, lights always flicker around me. I don't know why. Anyway, yeah, it's the energy. But I look forward to meeting all people the same. That's how I met Marquette. Doesn't matter if you're a football star. Doesn't matter if you're homeless. Because let me tell you one thing. I know Francis can vouch for this. When I'm done with the con, I will go hang with the homeless. And they're not having a sign that says, please feed me. I go to them and I hang out. And there's several times some actors like, what are you doing there in the dark alley? I said, man, I'm just listening to the stories. Because, they don't care about who you are. They don't, anything, talks are real. And I like to talk to people and see how you got here and what can you do to make life better. And I enjoy that. I enjoy listening to that. When I'm at ComiCons, we got Power Rangers, we got a lot of stuff going on. But being I think just a real person, being humble ain't easy. I mean, I could rise to the top and think I'm better than everyone else. I can go there and charge autographs all day long and do this and do that. I don't. I take care of people, and I tell everyone I don't take appearance fees. Most people take appearance fees. That's why they sit there all day long on the table. I don't. I want to do what I want to do. I want to give to who I want to give. If you want to get stuff, cool. If it's whatever it is, signing a Dragons or to whatever it is, it's all the same to me. You guys are collectors. You love comic books. What do you love? What do you collect? One thing you could say you collect.
DC Comics.
DC Comics.
Yeah, when my fiance and I bought our house, we had to buy a 5th bedroom just for my toys and comics.
See, DC, I kind of regret that now because Power Rangers is in the DC universe.
Justice League. I was
I
going to
know.
ask you
I
about
know.
that. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's awesome. About time Power Rangers belongs in somewhat of a universe. Because you have to understand, when I started Power Rangers, there was no such thing as Power Rangers. I didn't even know what it was. I thought I was going to be a Green Ranger. I thought I was going to be a Green Ranger. A Ranger, Forest Ranger fighting like Smokey the Bear or something. So I was a comic book collector, but I wasn't a comic character. So for years and years, I was like, man, I wish I was a comic character. That's why when I got Bloodshot as Valiant, from 1992, 1 year before Power Rangers happened, I was excited about being a comic book character. For once, I get to research and go back to the 90s and read every single Bloodshot book there was. When I'm in an airplane, I'm sitting next to people flying in first class. I got people in business suits. Like, you know, I'm here, I'm tatted up. You know how it is. People look, and I'm reading a comic book, and this person's probably like, who the heck is he to be sitting over reading? You know, people judge all the time, but I think it's funny. I'll purposely put my comic book in front of the business people. And I'm like, look at this guy reading comic books, you know. So it is what it is, and I love it, and I love being the Bloodshot as a comic book character. So Power Rangers didn't have a universe. We did Hamilton, Marvel, way back in the days, but the comic books just didn't have that oomph, you know. And now with Kyle, the way, I don't know if you guys follow the Boom story, but you know, Lord Draken and just everything is just like taking off, and he's such a great job at doing it that you know, he's a good writer, and so is Aaron with Bat and the Sun. Aaron is producing Valiant, and let me tell you, the production value and the budget we have on it is really good, but the production value is going to blow you guys away. You're not familiar with a lot of characters that we have, but the production value and the fight scenes that I've been doing is something that I've always wanted to do before. Power Rangers, we couldn't hit in the head. In costume, you could, but out of costume, everything had to be the shoulder. I mean, I've got beautiful kicks. I'm spinning hook kicks that could be real and knock people out, but it was all stunt stuff, and they can't use it. Oh, you can't kick in the head. Well, where can I kick? Aim for the shoulder. Looks like the head, aim for the shoulder. Network, we're only kicking into the shoulders, you know? I got deal memos or memos under my door that says quit cussing when you key-eye, because and then wasn't the bad word. That's the way I key-eye. So Disney just wasn't familiar with what I was doing, and I was like, I can't change my key-eyes because I'm not cussing, you know. But anyway, lots of things, and I just look at this whole life incident as ComiConns, as this incident in Phoenix, and I go back to the trenches of where I would see people with guns, and I would take guns, but we're going years back. And then, you know, really the first, like I was telling Joe's, the first Ranger to dig deep and to believe and invest financially into yourself and push forward and do free events and build the fan base. And it doesn't matter if there was one, doesn't matter if there's 10, it doesn't matter if there's 100 or thousands and millions. I'm not changing who I am. And you know, I was the first one to dig out there. That's why Saban loves me, is because I did Saban, and Disney bought it. I went back to Dino Thunder, trying to save Dino Thunder, got Saban approved for the White Ranger, the Green Ranger. The movie came, you want to do a cameo. They should have put more in the movie, but I'm just saying. You know, and it just, I've always been there for the brand, and there's a lot of good stuff coming up, you know, with the brand that they're venturing into that we don't know, but I'm Saban approved. I love it. I think they're doing great. Heim taught me a lot of things growing up in life. Yes, he's a businessman. People can say what he wants. The other Rangers can say what he wants. But in this business could be a cutthroat business. And I learned from my mentor that you don't need a cutthroats in business. You could do business honestly. And that's one thing that my instructor taught me. I can, I will. Don't say I can't, don't say I won't. Those simple things can change everything. And I was speaking year after year after year about an incident at ComiConn. And finally it happened, but it didn't happen, luckily, to the extent of blood shedding on the floor, but it happened because I was aware of that years ago. And sometimes, you know, when you think things ahead, you can stop things ahead, but when you're so oblivious to things and not think this could happen, this is a sporting event. So being here at this Comic-Con, everything has been redesigned for the safety of people. People can get mad at me, cosplayers can get mad at me. The whole no prop guns wasn't like my idea. My point is sometimes you need to check what's in bags, you need to check things. Comic-Con people are apologizing to me. You don't need to apologize. I had to deal with an issue like that. Some cons I've had some threats before, but you know, if I had officers with me, people would always think I'm just big time walking around with being a perception thing, but it wasn't. I've had officers with me in Lexington before. I've had these incidents, but I never just went public and said I'm getting death threats, because what would people say? Yeah, right, JDF probably paid that guy for social media. It's not. It happened to me for a reason, because I do hold the social media power and I can make a change. They need two lines: regular people and then cosplayers, and they need to make it go quick. And when you're here and your family's here and your guard's let down, like, this is ComiC-Con. Spider-Man's here, Captain America's here, Deadpool's here, Punisher's here. What's gonna happen? Nothing's gonna happen. Of course, people try, and it did try to happen. So it won't happen again, at least in the shows I'm with, because I'm really striving for safety for the people. I know people are like, this stings, I'm outside, and radar detectors, but we have to think outside the box. Remember, everyone always has it worse than you. We're complaining about our ankles, and we're complaining about our toe, and then we have someone in a wheelchair who's a champion that's not complaining. Maybe she has her own complaints, but someone always has it worse than you. So can't complain about a prop gun, it could have been worse. And that's what I always look at. Someone who's a champion like that, don't complain, that sits there, that has to deal with their own individual problems. But then I'm like, look around, man. Someone always has it worse than you. You got the card you dealt with, and it's how you play the hand. It doesn't matter in the cards, and I got dealt cards my whole entire life, and I failed lots of times before in karate schools, and I found the formula. The formula is just passion. You can't worry about money. All y'all right now gotta do this for the passion. Your views, whatever it is that you're gonna get, it's all for the passion. You're here for a reason, because you love to do what you love to do, and you have questions, and I'm just blabbing, so you all
What's your advice to people? I mean, I have a lot of friends and family that passed away young, and I guess they're the kind of the foundation of a lot of my philosophical questions. Because for me, inner dialogue is my secret. I always talk to myself in positive ways. Because I think with my idle time, I can either be really destructive, or I can build myself up. And I realized that building myself up has worked for me. So my uncle, he died at 39, but he was really talented. And you would never get him to say, that he was talented. He would never say it out loud. So he died talented and really insecure. I guess my question for you is, what's your advice to people that maybe haven't heard their voice yet as a creative or as an artist? It could be in general, it could be any medium, really.
That's a good point. I do a lot of ComiCons and Q&As around the world. We all have a talent, but some of the talent is hidden, but the talent's there. And the talent is hidden and blocked from your mind to register that you have a talent, like your uncle. And sometimes they don't pursue the talent because of maybe insecurities from the past, or other people maybe making fun of you as a kid. I know, my dad has deep things that he needs to come to, but you have to trigger, and you have to say, other people, hey, you got this talent. No, I do. Yeah, you do, man. I'm telling you, you got this talent. You should try it. No. You need to talk them into it. 50% of the people will like you, 25% won't, 25% will, but they're convincing not to like you and convincing to like you. So I think that you need to convince and stay true to them, and always push them to do something. I think your talent, God will click. I don't mean to preach to y'all. You can believe in whatever you want, but I've been blessed, and it will click. One day it will just click, and you'll say, that's what I need to do. But you can't just rush into your plan A. For example, this is why people quit quickly. I love music. I can't wait to do music. Well, you're good at it. I'm just gonna quit everything, and then I'm just gonna try music. And they do, and they fall back to their job. So you use plan B, which is your job, that we don't like to do, for money, to get through our jobs, but our mind is on plan A. So we're always thinking of plan A, why we're in plan B. So we start doing little by little by little, and all of a sudden your plan A will take over, and you'll make your money because you follow your passion, and you will lead to other avenues. So if you don't recognize your talent, you need to go back now, and you need to say, yeah, he did say something. I feel empty. I feel like I have no talent. You have to tell yourself, I feel good about myself. I do have talent. Now you need to reveal what my talent is. Because sometimes we think we got 10 talents, but there's certain talents that God won't put you in. Well, I love singing. It's great. You have other talents, but maybe singing is not one of them. I know you love it. You just gotta find your talent. I'm good with people. I love speaking. I love teaching martial arts. I love movies. So here I'm balancing all this, but I'm able to change people now and do what I love to do, which is speaking and encouraging people. So the people that don't think they have talent, they do. And it's all different talent. Because if we all had the same job, you all be sitting up here and we all be talking at the same time. You know? So we got to have different people, different talent. Even the girl cleaning the bathroom at the gym, it was one of those things where even put on Tammy's heart, I gotta tell her she's doing a really good job. I was like, she's so passionate about her job. We told her, you're doing a really good job. Like, oh my gosh, thank you. That's what she wants to do. You know what I mean? She was really passionate about keeping the gym clean. It's her job. Nothing wrong with it. So, you know, as long as you're happy and successful and say, in life, this is what I want to do. And you got to reach for it and do it. I don't care if you're a writer, you know, director. I'm doing a contest on my Instagram and social media soon that we're looking for a short project, a short movie. I'm gonna have people submit their short movies so I can actually take the undiscovered talent and pick a short movie and actually film it for them. And that's what we're gonna be doing soon, is a little contest like that. So that's gonna give all those writers out there and all those people like, I got a short film, to take the first step, which is submitting. Now the next step, like I told Jenna, is gonna be the hardest step. You don't hear back. You think you stink. I've done 1,000 auditions and I wonder why he's doing that movie and I'm not doing that movie. But he's not here doing this and I am. And what my next step will be from the man upstairs, and all of a sudden you'll see me in a $10 million movie, $100 million movie, and you'll wonder why. It's because I've worked for it. And it's not, that's what I'm going after. So there's a lot of talent out there that has to be discovered, but rejection is the hardest thing in life. Rejection is the hardest thing in life. I told Jenna, I auditioned for it, I didn't get it. Build yourself up for rejection. You're 10 foot tall and bulletproof. If you don't get the job, stick to it. Haim Saban for 8, 9, 10 years, everyone told him Power Rangers was silly. It's not going nowhere. Silliest thing in the world, you're not gonna sell it. He stuck to it. And now look where Power Rangers is. So that's a prime example of sticking to what you believe in. And I tell you what, no one else is gonna be your fan. You're your biggest fan. And you're the one that needs to invest into what you need to do. If you wanna be a singer, well, figure out, work plan B and then get your studio. But don't just get a studio and try to do it, because you're gonna end up broke because you're trying to make money. And that's the key to success. I mean, I have thousands of students around the world. I started the trainmejdf.com to teach people from around the world. But, excuse me, the trick at my school, I tell everyone, if they don't want to be here, then they don't need to be here. I don't long-term contract you on long-term contracts. Sometimes I get a black belt and I know he's gonna be black belt and I believe that he's gonna be here, so we'll nominate him to a certain club. My students can come anytime they want. I don't want someone there complaining. You're here to learn, you're here to train. So suck it up and learn to train, or there's the front door. And I'm the most successful karate school in the area. In fact, one of the top 10 schools in the USA. Just because of that theory, that my instructors are passionate about it. Don't complain, treat every class the same. Yeah, that rhymes. Don't complain, treat every class the same.
Coin it now.
Make a note of that. That's my next staff meeting. But yeah, and that's kind of like, you know, so people around the world right now, to answer your question, are probably watching this too and saying, where is my hidden talent? I don't have no talent. If you keep saying you don't have no talent, you're not gonna have it. One thing I will tell you guys, I know I'm preaching here, but the words that you speak are so powerful that the words will control your thoughts. And then your thoughts will control your body. And your body will control your actions. And your actions become your characteristics. It's like, hey Jason, you can do a ComiConn handshake? Yes, I am. Some ComiCons had to cancel very few for filming, but they believe in me and my word's golden. Contracts can be broken all day long. What does this mean? If you're just doing this all day long, you know, writing checks, writing contracts, they can be canceled. The point is your heart. You know, when you give your word, you got to give your word. And man, I struggle with ADD. I'm just all over the place. I was saying you know, to find your talent, you do have it, and you just have to reach deep and believe and just find it and discover it. And don't let people tell you you can't do it. Because I was told at ComiCons 6 years ago, I think you saw me in New York, but 6 years ago, and even in Boston, that I would never have a fan base. I'm not going to have a fan base. I was booked for 1 hour 6 years ago at a particular show that I'm not going to mention, but it said Jason David Frank. And I got so stressed out, I said, hey man, can you put Tommy and Green Ranger? Nope. Can you put this? No. Ah, man, 1 hour. I invested all this money to come. I told Tammy, it's okay. We'll go and have a vacation. I don't know, you're up against 100 celebrities. Everyone, I got it. I got it. I promoted a little bit on my page when I had very little social media. And I walked in, and the way that they do the lines is you see the lines, and there was nobody in line. And that feeling of walking into this ComiConn and just everyone was right that I didn't do it. It was just like, I walked all the way to the line. I said, I'll just do it, sit at a table, get it over with, and then I'll go enjoy my vacation. And I was just thinking there, I was like, this can't be though. This can't be. And then I looked, and all of a sudden there was all these people. I was like, Green Ranger stuff. I was like, who are all these people lined up? She goes, sir, that's your line. And I was like, my line? Like, just lined up out the door, up the escalator, 6-hour long line, and I was only there for an hour. So when they capped it, people started crying and getting upset, and then people started believing in you. And you know the frustrating part in life is that people will believe in you when you have numbers. It's like, oh, your numbers, now you believe in me. But what about believing in you before you have social media numbers, before you have numbers in your bank account? Everything's run by numbers. It's annoying. It's like phone numbers, you know, apartment numbers, studios. How much Instagram does he have? How many people at this ComiConn? Oh man, I'll do your interview. I saw your YouTube channel has X amount. No, everything's driven by money. So when you're speaking it, it'll tell your mind, yes, yes, I can do it. So now my thought tells my body, yes, tells my body, yeah, I can do these push-ups. Yep, my body starts doing the push-ups because I'm creating the action now and I'm doing it. And then as I do the action, your characteristics becomes, that guy's gonna train and he's doing 65 push-ups, he'll train. That guy's gonna be at my show, he'll train. Words you speak control your thoughts control your body controls your actions become your characteristics. And if people know me, that's why listening to Joe from way back into the Boston days, his whole story is he just saw me, I don't know, the family came up, didn't know money. I said, I got you. Signed autographs, took pictures, and he said the smile on that kid's face, he held it the whole time. The smile on his face made Joe be like, this dude hasn't changed, and I love this dude for who he is. And it's so great to look back those many years and think I'm still the same. Phoenix was even more giving. Come on, man, don't worry about it. You know, it was so stressful with all this stuff going on. Everyone smiles. And that's why, yeah, people don't look at change. I haven't drank in 6 years. I used to before, didn't have a problem. Used to go out and party and do what I want. But the thing is, some fans might want to take a shot with you or drink a beer with their old Ranger friends. Other fans are going to come with me and maybe get some wisdom. I'm not going to be the boring of the party. I'll still be the life of the party, but I'm going to give you something you can take versus looking at your hero and saying, I got drunk with my hero. It's just different. And, you know, and people will judge prior to 6 years ago. But you used to picking you apart. But I'm a changed man, and it's not perfection God wants, it's progression. And if you can see that, like, wow, man, this dude stopped drinking, haven't took a sip of alcohol. You don't think my life's stressful? You don't think I should be like, man, I'm so stressed out, and this guy, this, that, you know? I can't. I just refuse to do that. So I'll go to the gym. I'll beat people up. No, not people. I'll beat bags up. I'll do what I love to do. Karate got me away from things. You know, I was very, had a lot of issues like everyone else has a lot of issues. So guess where I went? To the dojo. That's why I got so good, because that means I got big issues. So it was a balance in life. And we all need to find our outlet. And for me, social media is an outlet. I hurt other people's feelings, hurt family members. I hurt people, you have time to FaceTime me or Facebook Live. I'm like, man, this is my outlet. You know, if my outlet was at a bar, I'd be at a bar in the corner drinking by myself, and I wouldn't want to talk to nobody. So let me have my social media outlet. Maybe it's a workaholic or whatever it is, but man, if I could sit here instead of watching, you know, a television program and reach out to one person to say, hey, he did this, and I hear it all the time. I became a police officer. I became a black belt. I became a this. I become this. I stopped myself from suicide when I was 9 years old. I was gonna kill myself. I was gonna hang myself. I stopped it because of you. How could you not like that? And people always come up and say, I know you hear this a lot. You're my biggest hero. Keep saying it, because that's what feeds me. Those smiles feed me. I can't do this job without that. I don't care about Phoenix ComiConn. I had you guys to feed me. On the end of the night, things catch up, time goes slow, my mind unwinds, it's stressful, I'd rather stay busy. That's just how my life is. That's the way my mind works. We're not all normal, man. That's why people always trap us and say this wrong. If you're normal, then and if you're perfect, only Jesus is, so amen to you, you're perfect then. I know we all sin, we all do bad things, but it's how we balance life a little bit.
So can we parlay a little into bloodshot?
Yes.
First things first, I've followed you since I was 9 years old. We've met a million times up and down the road. I don't know if you remember New York Comic Con, Rebecca, I hope you're watching. My wife told you that I had a crush on you since I was a kid.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we met again in Chicago.
I
this
do
past
remember
year,
that.
And we had to retake a photo because my friend looked the other way.
Yeah.
But Bloodshot.
Yeah.
I'm dying to hear more. I've been a Bloodshot fan since I was a kid. Followed Valiant my entire life. Jeff Lerner is one of my favorite writers.
That is awesome.
Is there going to be more than Ninjak versus the Valiant universe? Is there going to be a movie? Is there going to be a TV show, a web series, anything? Let's kill from our Bloodshot.
You know, I love that you say that. A majority of my fans, I would say about 90% of my fans, unfortunately, never really heard of Valiant. They heard of Bloodshot now, and they're starting to get into the comic books and read it. So to see a true Valiant fan is great, you know. I love Valiant. I started reading the universe. I will say that, yes, Sony did pick up rights for certain movies. I know there's rumors out there for Bloodshot movie. I know there's rumors out there for other actors playing it. There's rumors out there for Harbinger War. There's rumors out there for other series. Here's what I want. I want a Bloodshot Reborn digital series on Netflix. That's what I want. Bloodshot Reborn is an awesome story. It is so awesome. If you haven't read it, it is just legit. And also, like, you know, it'd be great for a Green Ranger series like that as well, you know? But there's definitely going to be more. It is going to, you know, Ninjak versus the Valiant universe will have a big play into, is there going to be a future into this Valiant world? So it's a lot riding on it right now. So if you haven't seen it, you do need to go to the Bat in the Sun channel and check out the trailer, Ninjak versus the Valiant universe, which is super long. I think we just call it Ninjak versus, a little bit easier. And if you don't familiar with the Valiant universe, I know you're a Valiant fan. I would pick the first book I read, The Valiant. Easy, introduces all the characters, and it's a little bit of simple. Bloodshot to me is like Wolverine. I loved Wolverine as a kid. I loved it. I wasn't interested in playing no superhero character that was made before. Every character that I've been doing that's been released now in the next couple months that I've been doing, some big universes you'll see and be like, wow, there's characters that I play that were never played before. So that's why I was so into Bloodshot. No matter who plays and what's gonna happen, I'll always be the original Bloodshot.
I think you would kill it as Nightwing, personally.
Nightwing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see you as Nightwing.
It's so hard for me to
Well, no one's played Nightwing, so.
And
Yeah.
you
well,
would,
didn't
to me,
Aaron do
you're
Bat in the
perfect.
Sun? Didn't Aaron do Bat in the Sun Nightwing?
There wasn't.
No.
There
I
was.
believe so.
Yeah. But anyway, I guess the superhero blood is cool, but Bloodshot just, you know, his powers are much like Wolverine. You know, he can't die. He needs protein to, you know, eating animals or whatever else he's got to do, and he just doesn't die. What I like about Bloodshot personally is his mindset. His mind's a little off. You know, he's got, you know.
Oh, he's lost. Yeah. Without his nana,
He doesn't know where he's at. He's got, you know, the Goldie boy and the girl talking, and now there's a glitch and there's blood squirt. Yeah, and so he talks to random people through Reborn. And who he talks to is nothing, and he fights it. But he also tries to numb himself with alcohol and some of the drugs that he does in there, and it doesn't work. So
It's always in sleazy motels.
Yeah, I love his mentality because I think we can all deal with that. And some people talk to me too about like, man, you don't know about depression, you don't know about ADD, you don't. I do know about all that stuff. I've been there. Trust me, I'm still there, and I'm not shy to sit here in front of the public to say that, and that I'm not. I do have issues. I do deal with depression, but I'm telling you, once you start getting in that depressing mode, you start having to speak it, talking to yourself, like you were saying, talking to yourself. You know what? I know it sounds funny, talking to yourself out loud too, man. I'm not quitting. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna win that fight. I don't really care. People can sit there and look crazy. Now, if they ask me who I'm talking to, I'll just pretend to be like FaceTime Live, man. Facebook Live. Leave me alone. I want to FaceTime with a friend. Now I can actually blame this. Back then you couldn't blame talking to yourself, and I can just be like, shh. Win this fight. So it's one of those things that the whole world has changed now through social media, and it could be a bad thing for kids too. It makes us really lazy. Like, it just what about the dictionaries? You know, I used to sell dictionaries. I never told anyone this. I used to sign dictionaries door to door in between my other two jobs, being a full-time karate student and helping my brother lay carpet in the middle of the night through a restoration company. I used to sell encyclopedias just because I tried it to see if I could sell encyclopedias, and I sold a lot, but you couldn't do that no more. Kids are like, how do you spell this? Me too. How do you spell it? Siri. I see Jenna talking. I'm like, who are you talking to? She's like, I'm setting up my phone. Siri. Name it's like, what? You know, it's what's happening is we're not having it on hands. We're not learning our brain. We're not training our brain. We're becoming lazy with the social media. That's why at my school, I still do old-fashioned cards. You know, I don't want no scanning and all wireless stuff and apps. I want old-fashioned school. You bow, you train. That's why when I started my Train Me JDF, it is through a website, but it has to. You have to have discipline in order to train. But I influence you. Go to a local karate school and train. Use this as a supplemental. I'm gonna do this. See if you can learn. I mean, it's a really disciplined person to be my own. I just got done working out, trying to rush it. It's hard to be your own coach and my own boss, because I can cancel anything I want anytime. If I was lazy, I don't feel like going to ComiConn. Nope. You know, this is happening in my life. Nope. Phoenix, I'm done. No, nothing's gonna stop me from what I want to do. And I want to make sure when I'm old enough and to say I jumped out of airplanes, I used to base jump. What? You used to do all that stuff? I fought. Why? Because I could and I wanted to, and it was never about money. So if Saban ever has something down the road and they're gonna believe me, I'll be working on it, and I don't care about money. I don't care about unions. I don't care about my fans. That's what I want to do. So, you know, I think everyone knows I'm on the same track, and it's proven history. I say ComiConn credit. You know how you can run like a Carfax, and you can run your IRS, you can run your credit on buying a car. ComiConn credit. Go back 6 years ago and see how I was 6 years ago. See how I was in the Boston bombings. Go see. I have ComiConn credit, and people know me. I hold myself to a high standard, shouting and on tables. And the only reason I do that is so I don't get lazy as a boss. I want to make sure that no matter what I'm feeling, my high standards are here. And even wearing baseball hats. First thing I asked Francis today. There's nothing wrong with wearing hats. I usually do. When I'm here, I try to be professional. I was like, am I gonna be on camera or just audio? Camera, cool. I'm gonna comb my hair. And here's the reason why. At Phoenix ComiConn, the last day I couldn't get my hair straight. I was frustrated. I was late. It was one of those days, Sunday. So I put a hat on. I told, Nicole, I told Francis, man, I don't like wearing a hat. You're too hard on yourself. No, I just don't like it at a ComiConn. I'm just strict on myself. It's uniform code. When I go to the dojo, it's uniform code. And so time and time, sign in, and the girl comes up and says, oh, I waited 22 years to see you. I really wish your hair was combed. I really wish you didn't have hair. And I looked and I said, that is why I dress the way I do. Because you never know that person that's gonna wait that might not like your hat. But if you do the best you can, they can't say anything. Yeah, maybe, I miss your long hair, cool. I had long hair for the first cameo in the movie, and so I cut it. So that's why I hold myself to those high standards. And it's hard to be your own boss, and it's hard to be your own coach. I find myself like bloodshot mindset. I just do it. My body's going, and I'm like, my mind's like, stay in bed, man. What are you doing? Oh man, my mind's catching. Working out, my mind's like, just stay in bed. So it's really hard. It's just like a robot. It's like training. Just gotta stay disciplined. That's the most important thing, is staying disciplined in life. Yes.
Do you ever reconnect with your former castmates? Or
I do often. I actually enjoyed the movie premiere. I enjoyed seeing everybody there. I just wish Amy was available for that group photo picture. Fans went crazy. I haven't seen Austin in so many years, and it was just like the same. It was like, smiled, laughed. I know everyone's gonna go back and talk about beef. We don't have beef. The only thing that we don't have is we're not connecting at ComiConn. So everyone's like, oh, he won't work with so-and-so. I feel if we're gonna do an original panel that's gonna attract thousands of people, let's do it the smart way. Let's do a panel, and people can donate to a charity of their needs in that city. So if we have a kid with leukemia here, we should do an original panel. And just take the panel, take the money, and do it for that cause. Because one thing I don't want to do is be like, oh, this is why I don't like doing group photo ops. How can they afford a group photo op? I don't want to be like that. I take pictures at my table free. I don't, it stresses me out to go in there and have to pay $250, $300, $400 for a group photo op. It's just, to me, it just stresses me out. I'm not like that. So if we did do, a panel, it would be great for that. But I talked to Dave. You have to understand, it was Walter, Dave, and Twee that left the show. And then it was me, Dave, and Amy who worked every day around each other. And then 3 new people came in, you know, Karen, Steve, and Johnny. And so we all worked together. And then other people left. And then new people came in. And for me, I was like, oh, man, this is stressful. I don't know which cast member is going to stay, who's going to leave. I just want to work. And I want everyone to be happy, and I want everyone to work. And as you guys know, as grown up now, it came down to money. I don't want to stress about money. I just want to do my job. I told them, in fact, I wish I would pay for this job. To be here in front of lights and to be in the command center or wherever else that I'm at, I was thinking, man, this is something that, this is like, who doesn't want to wear the costume? And, you know, when the original Yellow Ranger started and then Twee was hired, it was just about the money thing. That's why she was hired, and people leave. It was just, I saw this track of money and fame and Hollywood. I just got so turned off to it. I didn't want any part of it. So that's why I left Turbo. I left, and when I left, it was like, you're all going to be, you know, everyone's going to be replaced, and now they do it year after year, and they have new Rangers, which I understand their philosophy. It's called limerence. If you ever been in a relationship or you've been caught in limerence, your body has dopamine and something else that sounds like that. But it's like you're on a high for 6 to 18 months, maybe with the girlfriend or someone that you know, and then after it drops, and you say, oh man, I sure the heck don't feel the same, because limerence is gone. So you have to survive, and what Saban did is replaced every year, so they're like, I'm so excited to be here, and by the time it's over, where's my trailer? On to the next crew. So I think it was one of those things where they didn't want actors to have the power that they had. And I had a lot of power on the show, but I never left the show and just left. Some other people left, and it made it very difficult to shoot. Now we gotta do stunt doubles. Now I gotta be there longer, and it was like, oh my gosh. And for whatever reasons, I love them all. For whatever reasons, they wanted to better their lives. But my life was better. My life was better than where I grew up from. It was better than where me and my brother were. It was better than living on 5 acres, no water, no electricity, and going in an outhouse and showering in an outhouse when I was in high school. You know how many people made fun of me for showering in an outhouse? You know how many people are knocked out? I told my mom, move the outhouse. She pushed it with the Volkswagen Bug and moved the outhouse in the back. So I was better. My life was better than that. And so I was happy. So I never really thought about money. It was to the point where they offered more money, and I was like, oh man, I'm not here for that. I'm here for this. Awesome job.
I once read a TV Guide article where you said you wanted to be the next Bruce Lee, but the producers told you just keep kicking and you will.
Yeah.
That one part of that article always stuck with me forever.
I liked it, man. You know, of course.
See, I dated myself.
Yeah,
saying
no,
TV Guide.
TV Guide was cool. It's funny. I did a show with Chuck Norris in Houston, and you know, he was busy and I was busy, and Chuck and Bruce used to be back in the days, you know, and yeah, it was one of those things, and then I started realizing nowadays what Bruce Lee really was about. Bruce Lee's about philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Lee's about inspiring people, moving people. All these other artists and rappers that you might look at and go like terrible, but they do move people. They say their points. They talk about things that people don't want to talk about, and that's why there's a lot of hatred for stuff. But I realized as I got older, it was more than Bruce's kick. It was his philosophy. And I know maybe I'm not there yet, but I promise you, when I'm on top and I'm doing big movies, nothing's gonna change. I'll sit here the same with you guys year after year, and I see you and nothing's gonna change. I'm still gonna be me, and I'm still gonna do the same thing, because I don't care about money, I care about relationships. Relationships are priceless. So when you're a friend with me and something happens and you're not, you just lost something that you can never buy again. And that's just one of those things I just tell people, that it's a two-way street. You're priceless to me too, not just me. Oh, I'm so priceless, you are too. And that's the friends that you need to see. But I always say that with my fans, and this is so true, that I like to deposit in their emotional bank account. Because nobody deposits in anyone's emotional bank account. It's always take at these ComiCons, take, shout outs, no, take. For me, I want to give and invest in your emotional bank account, so you follow me, you feel me, the bloodshot, you support me. So when people want to take from you, it's your bank account. You say sure, and then you give to them, and then they deposit back, but they don't. Take your friends, and when they want something else, your check is mentally bounced. You have no more money in my emotional bank account. So that's what I try to do for fans. That's the reason why I have all these fans, and they come back time and time again because they're coming back for wisdom, not just coming back for an autograph. We have people that come back 10 times. You think I charge them 10 times when they come back there to say hug, give a hi, update their photos? I have a guy in the Army that I sign his card every year he comes back from Iraq. I've signed his card, I don't know, if you're watching 6, 7 times, I call him up, and you think I charge for that? Come here, man, give me a hug. Thanks for supporting our country. Where's your card? I sign it again. He carries that card everywhere. In battle, everywhere he goes, he carries that card. And stuff like that, I mean, you can't pay for stuff like that. You know, that's what feeds the fire. That's what keeps me going, and that's what keeps me motivated. And that's the truth. And I usually speak the truth when I talk to people, and some people like the truth and some people don't. And that's why when I did that Facebook Live about what I thought of ComiCons, it's the truth. I don't want to throw promoters under the bus. I don't want to throw myself under the bus. But if I had to throw myself under the bus to make ComiCon safer, oh well, then I'll be gone. That's just the way it is. Sometimes you sacrifice for other people. And like when my mom passed away, my dad's so distraught about it. And I told my dad that you have to understand, sometimes people have to be gone in order for them to be gone to give you the blessing. But our our flesh wants it. You know, we just want to keep it. We don't let it go. And my dad said, yeah, she did bless all these people through Instagram. All these people gave them motivation. Cancer, people going through cancer saying, Mom, Frank didn't stop, I'm not stopping. And that's what helps, that's what I look at. And that's what we're able to do through social media. And that's what I'm here for, is that one person that's down in the dumps, just think their life is over, they have nothing to live for, their life is so bad. Someone always has it worse than you, and you can speak. You stand up tall and speak the words, I can, I can, I can. You know, Holyfield, when he was a kid, he'd always look in the mirror when he was little, like 8 or 9, so I'm gonna be the world champion. I'm gonna be the champion of the world. I'm gonna be the champion of the world. He said that, and he became the champion of the world. When I fight, sometimes I see people in the locker room, and they're so already mentally done. They're, oh man, I'm fighting this guy, he's so good. I'm fighting this guy, and I look at him like, you lost. You're about to get knocked out. That's just the way it is, because you need to go in this, I'm gonna win. Better. I'm gonna win. You can't look at, oh, this guy's so good, is this and that. That's like, you know, Ronda got knocked out. It was the same kick Holly did to everybody. The same combo, boom, boom, up slice kick. And she was on interviews. That ain't gonna happen. Ronda, Holly, please don't hate me. I'm just using this as an example. But the same kick she got kicked with, the kick she would not get kicked by, the same combo, the same thing. She spoke it on the interview. I'm not gonna get kicked in the head and get knocked out if that's what she thinks is gonna happen. It did. And those 3 combos should have been studied more and more and more and more and more. It just happened. I know a guy who knocks everyone out with a spinning hook kick and a spinning side kick. Fight after fight after fight. You need to train to avoid the spinning hook kick. Some people are just good at it, like Max Holloway. He's a friend of mine. He is gonna be up on top. He's a methodical fighter. He will watch, listen, and learn. And that's what people do at Comic-Cons. You think you're not being watched? You know, I don't care who's on live, I don't care what, I mean, you're constantly being watched. Mm-hmm. So there's no faking it, who you are. Yes, backstage I go, oh, whew. All right, Q&A time. Give me a protein bar. Give us some energy. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, bam! It's just on and off. Not giving up, not letting people see your sorrows and your sad points. I talk about difficult things, about losing my brother, my mom, and all that stuff, but I speak from the heart. And you know, and there's things that we all struggle with, and I just don't want people to think I'm up here better than you guys because I put my spandex on one leg at a time too. There's no morphine, you know. I'm no better than anyone else. I'm not stepping over people to get to the top. I'm gonna bring you all to the top with me. Every fan that's been there from day one, when I had 10,000 fans, 60,000 fans, you don't think it doesn't register in my head. I know those people that are old school fans. I know fans that are crossing the line and trying to make an underground battle like Pac and Biggie. It's not like that. There's no underground battle. It's just what it is. There's no underground battle for me. People try to make underground battles. Maybe a long time ago it used to be, but 6 years, let that stuff go. That stuff's not drama no more. But because social media, things are always brought up. So if there's things that I want to clear the air that maybe you heard about, or anything about Phoenix and Rangers, or anything, I'm honest and open to you. I'm happy to clear the air with anything that you always wondered, even if it came to why didn't Rita's mouth match? Because she was Japanese, and she was like, oh, so you want to fight? Fight me! Yeah, we had an English dub her. Because she was Japanese, we had an English dub her with the voice. That's why the lips don't match.
A better shield too.
A better shield, yes.
A better shield would be.
Yes.
It always drove me nuts as a kid.
Me too. And me too. And you know what they said? Those kids won't know. Well, you know what? They all know. And even in Super Mega Force, I went back. I was so hard on the props. Everyone was like, damn, this guy's really hard on everyone. I'm like, look, the helmet needs to be painted. It needs to be painted green. Just wear it, you're fine. The morpher, it's silver. Just wear it, fine. I did. I wore it. I called Saban. I talked to Brian. They color corrected it before it came out. So they color corrected it, and it costs a lot more to color correct than just giving me the helmet that I wanted to in the first place. I know about my character better than anyone. I did not know I had the gold morpher and there was never a toy, and I did not know I used the Japanese footage, the Japanese toy for my morpher. So there's things that I learned. I don't know everything about Power Rangers. A lot of fans know more than me, but I do know. So why do you want to change this? Because I'm on ComiConn, so I got to answer that question 1,000 times. John. You're here in New Zealand and you're not worried about it. I am. When someone raises their hand and they have 25 years to think of a question, and this is the question: why was the helmet silver in Super Mega Force and not green? That's the only question you have. 25 years? Let's just get it out of the way. So I made them color corrected. So I try to make sure that the props are accurate and everything's accurate now.
Do you have any of the props?
The shield. I do have some.
That drove me so nuts.
I had the original Dragon Dagger. Yeah, it did too. But you know what I liked about the shield? I know
Probably
this.
better than that.
No, what I liked about it is I would, I'd purposely be like, "What's that?" And then I poke Dave in the eye, and I'm like, "Dude, get your shield out of my face! What do you mean?" I don't know what you're talking about. So I constantly had fun of just like, it's like, at the theme park at SeaWorld, I have this corn. They have like roasted corn in Texas, and you peel it, and it's got all this tusk, So like I just purposely turn and be like, "Hey, we should go on that ride." And people are like, ditching the corn and moving. I thought that was funny, man. That was the best.
What, like a styrofoam? Not the Japanese one. The Japanese one was a hard rubber, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but I will tell you this: prop makers, cosplayers, Anarchy, all these people are making amazing costumes, and I think Anarchy might be licensed by Saban soon. But they make great stuff. When I did the Power Ranger movie, where were all y'all when we did the Power Ranger movie? Those costumes weighed 50 pounds. We made them out of rubber tire. They looked cool, and the costumes were so heavy to wear. It was ridiculous.
This is the original movie, right?
The original movie.
The shield looked a lot bigger than
Everything was made of a rubber tire.
The costume looked really bulky.
Yeah, it was.
It really
hard
did.
to move.
It looked kind of warm because it looked like athletic.
Yeah, well, nowadays they make costumes super lightweight, fun to wear. So the Green Ranger shield, they thought kids would never see it. And our biggest thing on the show when the director would be, I'd be like, hey, this part's over here. You'll never see it. You'll never see it. If you're seeing that, you're seeing the world. If you're seeing that, you're seeing the world. You'll never see it. And I learned how to make films really well at that. And he is true. Some things that you never see. But I look for those things now in movies, and it drives me crazy. I look for continuity things. I look if this guy has one mark here, and then the next shot, the mark's over here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he has one job to just make sure continuity is correct and gets paid a lot of money for that.
A good friend of mine, Patrick Scott, he talks about that all the time.
Yeah. And Patrick does great cosplaying, good costumes, good helmets. So with the shields, I was probably the only guy to have helmet head time in my costume because I fought Jason in the Dark Dimension, and that was me. And then after first season, they were, let's just put a stunt double. I was like, no, man, I want to do it. There's posters of me in the command center. That's my moves. And then there's other stuff you all buying that's the Japanese guys. I just don't have the heart to tell you that ain't me in the suit. People come up and they're like,
can you sign it?
Yeah, but there are people that come up and say, hey, man, were you at my birthday party at this time and at this time of day? And I look and I'm like, my mom sent this picture, and I go, yeah, I was there. I don't want to break no one's hearts. I don't want to tell people I wasn't there or I'm not there. But I've learned to say that really quick. So yeah, that was probably me.
So that was you?
I just
stories like directing films, like I know you're really hands on with your creative life and at least documenting your story. Do you see yourself full out taking the director's chair and directing films?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because one of my friends, Justin, we're He's got a studio, Ambient Studios, and we're taking this short film contest. And you know, I like to direct. I mean, you know, as you're a filmmaker too, I have the eye for shots, and some of the shots can just be incredible shots. So I definitely want to do that. You know, I know Amy's a filmmaker. I know she's, you know, making her own films and stuff like that. So she's, you know, a good director. And there was a project I was writing that I wanted to star and direct. I did a movie before called Burning Desire, but it's not out there. It got locked into some estate thing, but I directed the whole thing. It was a 16-day shoot. I used the Power Ranger crew. Production value was really good. We used a 16mm camera. There's an old saying, check the hair in the gate, where you have to open it, make sure there's nothing fuzzy in it. And I didn't check, and I had a hair in the gate. So you see the old, you know, like this film, this piece of thing that's stuck in the camera lens. So, you know, film, you'll see a hair in the gate, and I'm like, oh, the boom. But I directed it really well. I was fast. Dennis Bishop was the DP. He did the original movie called Hills Have Eyes, the original first movie. And he was a good filmmaker, and we had some good stuff, and I directed it. To be honest, I did a lot of bandit shooting, and I didn't have permits. So like maybe a dolly shot on the side of the freeway shouldn't have been done. I got stopped by the cops and said, you have a permit? I said, no, I don't, sorry. So it could have been organized a little bit better. It was more guerrilla style shooting. But yeah, I'd like to, and I think it's good for, you know, creative people need to stay busy. And I'm a creative person, but I like to get things done too. I have so many different ideas, this and that, so that's why balancing it, you know, like my More From Life, you know, we did is I'm back on YouTube channel, and it's on Con TV too, but just balancing with where the world's going to. Is vlogs happening now anymore? I don't know. You know, short films, I love to do a really cool short film, and I'm trying to get this movie that has been on my heart for 8 years, about a slight autistic kid that meets a coach, and I'm the coach that's with a lot of problems, you know, like an alcoholic coach that I gotta find myself again, and we kind of just find each other, like old school Karate Kid stuff. And it shows people out there that we can do anything we want. I've trained people in wheelchairs before. I've trained people that couldn't see. I've trained everybody, because martial arts lives in your mind. Martial arts lives in your mind. You know the little old guy that you think you might not mess with? He's the wisdom guy. That's the guy that might flip you and turn you, but that's the guy that has wisdom. This is the only job in the world where I get older and I become more famous in my dojos. The older you are, higher rank you get. I'm getting promoted soon to my 8th degree. And yeah, thank you. And that means 9 years from 8th degree, 9 years for another promotion, and from 9 to 10th means another 10 years. So, you know, I'm on that long haul. So when you see a 10th degree black belt out there, that's the way it works. From 1st to 2nd takes 2 years, 2nd to 3rd, 3 years, 3rd to 4th, 4 years, 4th to 5th. I was very young coming into it as a master. But when you see those people out there, they have a lot of wisdom. They might, you know, older people might not be able to kick as high, but never underestimate them, because they've been training in karate their whole entire life. And a true martial artist is one that respects and bows. That's why I like George St. Pierre. Wears a gi, you know, bringing that brotherhood and dedication to UFC, you know, and becoming a real karate superstar, a real karate guy. You know, and I'm not calling anyone out there. Please don't hit my inboxes. At one point, everybody wanted to fight me, and nobody wants to fight me. I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to fight me, but I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there's kids that look up to these people. There are kids that look up to MMA fighters now. There's a lot of fighters out there that are thug fighters that do great too, but it is what it is. I just choose to keep my Instagram PG-13, positive posts, even when I'm feeling negative. Do you have any questions over here, man? You've been quiet.
No, I got my questions out.
Yeah, that's your question. You guys did it.
You answered all my questions while you're talking.
Good. Yes.
Is there anyone on, I know you're active on social media much, is there anyone else on social media that you kind of take cues from, or you really admire the way they handle?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I like the way Kevin Hart does his stuff. I respect Kevin Hart a lot. You know, I look at his social media, I look how hard he's working, and I understand his life is super crazy, super busy, but I love the way he handles his social media. You know, he'll tell you, if you're not a fan of mine, then you need to get off, you know? And he's on hands, he's got a huge social media following, and I love his posts. I mean, I look at his stuff, and I admire it because I know he might have a team, which is fine, understandable, but he's on hands. He's on hands with social media. You know, McDonald's had that post of human meat at one point. there's human meat in McDonald's, and my little girl saw it, and she'll never eat McDonald's just because she saw that interview. You know, saw it. They left it on the website. They left it online for like a year or some long time, and they made a mistake by not adjusting, just killing the negativity links. You know, so Kevin Hart, for me, much respect, because I see him grind so hard, time and time, doing movies, meeting fans. You know, staying humble. I don't care if he posting jets in his shoes. He deserves all that stuff. But on the end of the day, he is that person that his mom. You know, the whole story about, you know, you need to pay your rent, but the mom put his checks in the Bible. Y'all heard his story right before. The mom sent them, and he didn't know. Mom, I don't have a check. She said, you need to read your Bible more. And he never read his Bible. Once he read his Bible, the mom put checks inside the Bible. That's how he paid his rent. So she said, stay close to God. So when I heard stories like that, it's like, man, I admire someone like Kevin Hart's Instagram. That's one. And then of course all my friends I follow, but that's one that sticks out that I would say that would be my answer. Yeah. So, well, guys, yeah. Seems like I answered everyone's questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to take this time to thank you guys. I'll be here Saturday. Sunday is the Q&A. So the Q&A, I believe, at 2 o'clock. And you can bring your questions in there, and I appreciate everything. I appreciate all the cons around the world, making some adjustments. Appreciate you cosplayers. We just got to be a little bit more creative. We can't bring guns in here. Each ComiConn has their own rules, so I would just say check the website. It's probably the best thing to do. Keep cosplaying and keep making things fun for everyone. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.